how we are and where we're going as a team. Seen a few practices, and on that defensive side is where we have our B set. That's where we have Chase Young heading up the defense from that linebacker position. And then we went out and picked up Jamin Davis out of Kentucky, another linebacker just like Chase Young. So we got some guys running back there wreaking havoc. And then I've always said that I didn't feel comfortable with our corners. I felt like we were kind of weak in that area. And what did they do? They went out and they beefed up in that area, and they got Jackson and they got St. Juice. So uh, who I can't think of a guy that they have at safety right now, but yeah, we've got some pieces moving, man, and I'm definitely loving what I'm seeing in Washington right now. We ended up last year at the top of our division, but if we had a losing record. Everybody had a losing record. Our whole division was pretty much weak last year. Um, we had a whole lot of issues in Washington with the COVID protocol. We were like one of the bottom teams as far as getting the wraps on the COVID thing. So there were a lot of distractions going on. Not to say that that's an excuse, but that's just what was going on at the time. And so when you take these things into consideration and how everybody's had an opportunity to go back and reassess things and make a protocol that's going to be conducive to the players and the staff and the fans alike, now we can get to concentrating on football. And so that's what they're going in and doing. We're seeing around the league a lot of issues going on with teams, a lot of inside issues. I talked about Deshaun Watson and his antics that he's going through right now. But, I mean, how much can you really blame Deshaun Watson? He feels like he's been set up. There's a lot of allegations swarming around his name for some questionable things from some ladies. And so it's hard to really put a determination on why Deshaun Watson is acting the way he's acting. He already said that he had wanted to leave Houston after they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, and then J.J. Watt left. It was like the team was being gutted, and he saw no future there, so he wanted out of that lofty contract that he got. And they didn't want that, and it seems like immediately after he expressed that, all of these different allegations started to come out. Not to say that there's no truth to them, not to say that there's no validity, but it's just the timing of it is just very, very suspicious to me. And I always point that out. But the way that they say that he's been acting in training camp, he's playing on the defensive side and playing corner and just horrible attitude, basically making it known that he emphatically wants to leave Houston. And it's like the whole James Harden situation with the Houston Rockets. James Harden, he looked like he had on a fat man suit. Whenever you looked at James Harden, they talked about it on sport. Well, all of the networks, they talked about how James Harden just let himself go physically, how he was just playing haphazardly and just going with the motions, and he was showing how he did not want to be in Houston anymore. What's going on in Houston? What is the problem with Houston? Not the city of Houston. No disrespect to the city of Houston. I love Houston because I'm down here in Killeen, Texas, so I rock with the H. But what's going on with these sports programs in Houston that's causing so much discontent from people and making players have to or make them feel like they have to act out in order to get out of those contracts and to get out of those different leagues. What's going on there? The Houston Texans, J.J. Watt left. If you're having a stellar career and you still have gas in the tank and you have love for the game, you're going to stay in and you're going to continue your career as far as you can. So that this is what most people, I'm not going to say that's for all people have that mindset, but that's the typical mindset for everybody who strive to make it to the NFL. You don't get there to just go a couple years and then get out. You do it because you love the game, you love the competition, camaraderie. All of those things has been instilled in you through learning your sport. And so, um, whenever you have these guys to come into Washington and not Washington, but Houston, and they don't feel that camaraderie or that loyalty to that team, and they have so many outward actions showing that they don't want to be there. There has to be something going on in that area or in those organizations in that area. So that's all I'm just saying. I'm not talking about the city of Houston or nothing like that. I'm talking about the Houston Rockets and the Houston Texans. They got some stuff going on with them that's making players want to leave. And DeAndre Hopkins seemed like he's pretty happy with leaving, and he went on about his business and he's doing great things. So, um, getting back to Washington, I don't want to take the focus and put it on something else too much. That's just something that I noticed that was going on. We have a lot of different distractions going on. Earlier, I was talking about how down in New York, the Giants had a big brawl at their practice, and then there's just so many different stories going on as far as not being able to gel as a team. And we're going to see how that reflects on the field because all of that stuff is going to come out on the field. When you're out there and you're going against that opposition, you're going to remember that this dude did so and so. And you're going to, I'm not going to speculate into people's intentions. I'm sorry about that. I ain't even going to go there. But what I will say is this: it gets really intense. A lot of these guys are very intense, and sometimes they can go overboard, especially in the beginning in preseason, because that's when a lot of people are really trying to earn their spot on the roster, keep their spot, because it's coming down to me and two other running backs. I have to make a statement. It's coming down to me and two other safeties. I have to make a statement and do something to let them know that I'm the guy for the job. And that's why the guy eBay for the Panthers went in head first and almost ended this receiver's career before it even started with a head first hit and sent him away in an ambulance. So these guys get caught up in the moment. They get caught up in the pressures of trying to get that roster spot and trying to be a contender in this league and get their name out there. That sometimes they'll go overboard. So we have to keep that in check. But I see great things in Washington football team. Everybody keep on giving me flack about not having a actual name for our team, and I tell them like this: you don't need a name when you that good. Everybody know who we are when we step in the building. Yeah, it's like that. When we step in the room, our presence speak for itself. Everybody gonna see this season. Washington is a new team. Washington has a new angle. Washington has a new mindset. These guys are coming out here fully stocked, fully packed. And the only thing that is going to beat Washington this season is Washington itself. That is the only thing that can beat the Washington Redskins. If you look down their roster and you look at the stats and do your little analytics and all of that stuff, everything is going to tell you that the Washington Redskins are going to be. I'm sorry about that. Not the Washington Redskins. The Washington football team is going to be number one in our division. Period. Period. Point blank. We see what the Cowboys did the other night against the Steelers. Yeah, it was a game that wasn't it it was a scrimmage game or preseason game and whatever. No, you see what's going to take place. And you can even argue the fact that the Cowboys always start off slow and then they kind of dwindle down in the middle of this. No, there's not going to be any competition this year. Dallas is going to come in. And I'll say this about rivalry games with Washington and Dallas, no matter who has what type of season, the game is always going to be a 50-50 toss-up a lot of the times because we've seen where Washington come into the game and a very favorable they have a very favorable record, and Dallas will be in the dumps and be on a 3-game losing streak, and they'll break that streak on that game with Washington and send Washington on a downward spiral, and vice versa. We'll see Dallas with a stellar record and they come into Washington and get upset, embarrassed. It happens in these types of games. We understand that rivalry spirit and that rivalry passion. So yeah, we're gonna continue to watch and see as this Washington team builds up. We got some things. I'm telling you, I'm so excited. We coming for everybody. Nobody is safe. Everybody talking about Mahomes. Everybody talking about Brady. Everybody talking about Aaron Rodgers and Roethlisberger. All of these dudes. Yeah, they're the goats. They're legends in their time. They paid their dues, but there's some guys coming up that's going to bring something extra to the game. There's something new coming up that people aren't going to be ready for. What's that guy? Trevor Lawrence. He's going to bring something new to the game. Like I said, Jamin Davis, he's bringing something new to the game. All of this young, new talent. And even though it's in my division and it's one of my rivals in our division, I want to see what Saquon Barkley's going to do this season. I love to see that kid run, man. He reminds me of Barry Sanders so much in his humility, in his build up, in the way he run, in his everything. It says Barry Sanders to me. And so I'm always excited to see that kid touch the ball because you never know what he's going to do. And when we get down to the bare bones of it, um, yeah, it's been over 20 years since we've seen a Super Bowl. Um, yeah, let's see. Well, we go back to 92 or 93, I believe, was the last time we went to it. Don't be judging us. Yeah, 92 or 93, I believe. And it's been quite a while, but it's time. And Washington understands that it's time. They've made the proper changes, and they've finally done what I've been saying for the last 15 years, and they've invested in an offensive line to protect the quarterback and give him opportunities to make things happen in the pocket so it don't collapse on him every 2 seconds and have him scrambling for everything. You have a running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield, but you don't want to make that his go-to for everything and become predictable. We want to be able to mix it up and do some different things. And so we're going to see what happens. I'm ready for this season to start. I'm ready for everybody to definitely promote and practice safety out here on the field. We don't want to see any injuries. We want to see good football. We want to see good form tackles. This is something else we need to talk about, man, because everybody has gotten away from form tackling. Form tackling and teaching and stressing form tackling would take away a lot of these head-on head shots. It would take it completely out because every kid that I saw when I was coaching, almost every kid that I had came in and they always came shoulder first, no wrap up, and they would either bounce off or just totally miss, and that would cost yardage. When I started coaching, I did exactly what was taught to me. And when I was in high school, I wasn't no high school star, but I was a good athlete. And when I got my time in the games, I made the most of my time in the game. That is so crazy. That is so crazy, man. I apologize for that. My Wi-Fi just blinked off for a second and came back on, man. But I'm back in this thing, so your boy Mac is about to get out of here, man. I just want to let everybody know that we got a lot of things going on in the National Football League as far as safety, as far as mental health. And I want you to watch some of these guys because we have Antonio Brown who's coming back, man. And all eyes are going to be on his mentality and his actions and his behavior. We haven't heard anything from him in this off season, which is a good thing, so that means he's been keeping a low profile. But uh, who's to say what happens as the season gets started? Like I was saying earlier, people get excited and they get caught up in the action and all of the excitement, and that causes them to go above and beyond, man. So he's one of those guys that I'm concerned about as far as his mental health because of taking those hard hits, and there's a few others as well. So I'm gonna keep an eye on some of these guys just as far as the mental health aspect because, like I said, that's something that I'm going to be covering, and that's an angle that I'm always going to be highlighting with a lot of these guys. Because when things happen and they have actions that go against their character, like Aaron Hernandez, then you're going to be like, well, what happened to this guy? Why would he do something like this? I remember a wrestler named Chris Benoit who just from mental health issues, heavy medications and alcohol and all of that stuff. And he ended up doing a horrible thing. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but yeah, it really, really was a destructive thing that he ended up doing and destroyed his family because of his mental health issues. So I always going to characterize that and talk about that when it comes down to um, any sport. So during this football season, we're going to be covering that. During the WNBA, I already talked about Liz Cambage and how she was speaking about how she didn't want to go to the Olympics, and it would be her anxiety would go up and dealing with the stressors of not having that support system there with them. We understand that our athletes are going through some things and they need to be able to get it out and talk about it instead of just ball it up inside. And so, if there's anything going on with any of you and you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to, hey man, just hit up DMAC. What's going on, Big J? How you doing this morning, my brother? Just on here talking about my Washington football team, man, because they're looking like they're going to stay at the top of the division this season with some of those acquisitions that we made. We've had what's the young man, St. Juice, because I was saying that we had a problem at corner. I felt like we was kind of weak on our corner, but now we got St. Juice on one corner. We got Jackson. We got a lot of depth at corner now, and so I feel a little bit more secure about that area. Your Eagles, man. I hope your Eagles are going to be able to contend because, like I said, we're balanced now. At first, it was just we were always known for our defense. We made acquisitions to tighten up our defense a little bit more and just solidify what we already had. But not only did we do that, on the offensive side, we made some real big moves. So the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, they've been saying that he's been having a good training camp, yada yada yada. But okay, let me go ahead and drop the link for you. La, 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 la. Mm-hmm. See how I can get it. See. But yeah, man, them Eagles trying to get them Eagles ready. It's going to be a problem. Definitely going to be a problem because when they step into our arena, when they step into our arena, sir, it's about to be some things that's going to rattle. It's about to be some rooms that's going to shake because there, and there might not even be no fans in there, but just by the aura that the Washington football team is going to give off is enough said.
And you know that the Eagles will dominate. Hold on, let me come off this other side. Okay, got it. Now you know that the Eagles gonna put their work in, Doc. You know that.
The Eagles can put all the work they can put in overtime. They can put in double time shifts. They not seeing these Washington football team this year, man. Do you see what we have out there? Have you just go take a peek at one of our training camps, man? It's crazy.
But D, that's training camp. They haven't played together yet.
That's the thing, though. They play like they have played together already, man. I was looking at their just their practice, their scrimmage that they had the other day, man. And them guys, the guy St. Juice that they picked up on the corner, man, that dude, he's giving me more faith in what we got at that corner. So what are y'all gonna have to run? Y'all not gonna be able to run against us.
But see, that's the thing. We don't need a big time running back. All we need is someone who can give us 4 or 5 yards every now and then, and just disguise what Jalen Hurts is going to do with his arm or leg. See, that's going to be the big deal, man.
This is what's gonna happen. Chase Young is gonna be back there chasing Jalen Hurts every 3 steps. And then he gonna chase it right over to Jamin Davis, and then it's just gonna be a sandwich. And we gonna sandwich him all game long, man. They better do something more than that. Because they better get some type of back. If he ain't gonna run the ball, he better be a good blocking back because we definitely gonna be in that backfield disrupting everything.
Yeah, but like I was saying the other day, man, if the line holds up and like they started to do last year, before they took him out, when he was beating teams, I'm going to see it very hard for teams to win because he's downhill all the way. His passing game, his running game, and now he has a true core receivers. Last year he had, I'm not going to call them bums, but he had old cats for receivers. Now he has young cats for receivers, and it's all downhill. I'm telling you, it's going to be a difference because he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Zach Prescott got his money, so he feel good no matter what. Oh, I'm talking about look, I'm talking about Dallas.
Man, let's talk about Dallas because them boys didn't look too good the other night.
Nah, they look horrible.
They did, and I'm like, but Dallas do that though. Dallas will look bad in preseason, and then they'll come out start the season, and they'll start getting it together around about the second or third game and finish out. But it ain't working out like that no more because now you have us who's becoming a powerhouse. Now I said in our division it was gonna be Washington, y'all, Philly, and then New York, and then Dallas was going to be last place in our division.
Facts.
And I'm still sticking with that, man, because Dallas they have a whole lot to redo. And now Dak Prescott he dealing with a shoulder injury now.
Exactly. He's out on the
So
sidelines. Yep.
yeah, so he gonna be out for what? Probably about another 6 weeks.
Yep.
And he ain't even and he coming off of what almost a whole nother season of
Yep.
his ankle. Man,
And
this is not
they
that
gave that
season.
dude all that money, man. They gave him all
Yeah,
that money. That was a big mistake to me.
man, Jerry Jones sitting up there so mad right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because if he didn't go get nobody, he still could have had it in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I was gonna
Exactly.
say about Dallas, man. And Dallas has always been like this, dating back to the Landry days. they got. I'm not saying they got people who are crazy, but they got a lot of mental things that they have to deal with those players on that team. It has always been that way. If you know anything about the history of the Cowboys, you
Michael
got some.
Irving,
Yes, come on.
Leon Lett.
Yep,
It was a whole lot of them, man.
yep. And for some reason, they just attract those, or they go out and get those type of cats. Why? I don't know.
But it's the environment in Dallas. I can tell you that Dallas is a whole different animal. When they say it's like a whole nother world, Texas in itself already think that they separate from the United States. So
Exactly.
they already got that mentality, and then Dallas just amplified by 100 times. And
Right.
so just the cockiness of the people in Dallas, Texas. If you go to Dallas, Texas, you'll see for yourself the people that have a certain attitude about themselves and they carry themselves a certain way. It's like we're better than you and we know it, and we're not gonna tell you, but you should already know
Yeah.
it.
See, that's the problem.
And that carries over to the team, man.
That's the problem with that open carry state. Those
Yes,
them
yeah,
open
man.
carry states. Everybody's on a
Everything,
different level.
yeah, everything's bigger in Texas. It's and
Exactly.
that and it's people out here who live by that, man. And so that carries over to that team, and that's why everybody loves to hate the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't mean to change the subject, but you know something that's funny? There's less crimes and less murders in open carry states.
Yeah, because people have to think twice. You're not gonna just run up on somebody because you don't know who is packing. Little grandma got something in her purse.
Right.
Uh, Pastor got something under the podium. And that is how it is in Texas. Really, really is
Wow.
like that. And you have to be, because when you see what happened down in South Carolina with that kid,
Right.
Dylan Roof, you have a lot of pastors who said, "Nah, we're not slipping like that," and
Yeah.
they have actual armed security in their churches,
Yeah,
uh,
you're
which
right.
which I'm not against. And so for that purpose, yeah, it's a good thing. But for other purposes, it's not a good thing because some people see that as a license to go out and start trouble.
Well,
But
let me know if I'm taking you away from your thought. But when we say
no,
church,
no, absolutely
when
not,
we
bro.
say okay, when we say check, hey, I want to tell everybody, make sure you subscribe to DMAX channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, smash it, and leave a comment because his channel is growing. He has great content. But what I'm saying is this, D. If the church belongs to God, not the physical building,
Mhm.
and God is a spirit, why do we need a weapon?
Exactly. That's the mindset that a lot of people carry, and that's why people are in this Hellenistic state where they're mixing the world and the church and the spirit. They're trying to mix the world with the spirit, and you can't do it. And that's where a lot of these people come up with these concepts of carrying guns and, "Well, I ain't gonna be no fool in this and that." That shows a lack of faith in my sight. But
Right.
to each his own. That's what I say. And it's fear factor that's really exposing to people what's still in them. And so in a way it's a blessing if you recognize it and you really want to change.
Right. Being a pastor myself, man, I know a lot of pastors carry guns. I mean, musicians going to church carry guns in their guitar cases. So that tells me, man, and I don't want to use the church when they go to religious organizations because I believe if you trust God, we're gonna go anyway one day, so you don't have to carry anything. But and this was the question I was going to ask you. Do you think that certain pastors who get killed in the pulpit and other things, do you think that God is trying to make an example?
um that's a good question. I think that God has, allowed that, given that person grace and given that person room to repent, and that person refused to do so. And
Wow.
God allowed that person to become a consequence of his actions.
Wow. Yeah, because watch this D, to walk up in the church and just straight take the pastor out and the people, that meant it's not even that person. I think it's just somebody that God is dealing with on a whole different level, and people they can't catch it and they don't understand what's going on. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, some people lose their life with the king. There were certain cultures where whenever the king died, his armor bearers were killed and put in the daggone tomb with him.
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
so there's some unfortunate casualties that come with the king.
Wow. And you know what? That's so funny that you said that. You know, that was big in Egypt.
Yes,
When the pharaoh died, they had the small sphinx on the outside, and you know they used to mummify him. But watch this. Even if the even if the servant was not dead, they killed him,
yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
they took it
They,
as go ahead.
they took it as
Wow.
an honor. They took
Yeah.
it as an honor because they were like coming up to that time. They went through a process. Their body was made ready for this process for them to die and be stuffed in this tomb with their leader. And
Wow.
just imagine what's going through their mind and what's going. A lot of them probably took that as an honor and they did it with joy.
Yeah, it seems simplistic, man, but when we look at the world, that whole understanding still resonates in anything. There are certain people when you deal with classism, and I'm gonna get off this topic because this can go so far. There's certain people that feel because I'm underneath you, you know, I'm willing to. Some people call them a sellout. I'm willing to become a sellout to do whatever you said, you know, just to be a part of you.
Yeah.
That's why I say this is a deep subject, man.
It really is. And there's we I've already talked about a few sellouts and stuff like that, but I leave that to other people
Right,
and I'll just hit it and go on about my business. But
right.
yeah, we do have a lot of people who are willing to compromise a lot of things and they have their reasons for doing it, whatever their life uh brought them to that point to make those decisions. But it's other people who out here who won't do those types of things. And um, yeah, man, that's just the way the world is going right now. Everybody understands that we're changing into a society of you have to keep up with what's going on or you're going to get left behind. And this mentality that we used to carry is no longer it's not feasible for the generation that we're going into. So a lot of us are unlearning some things that we used to practice, and some of us are learning new things, especially through this whole social media system. I know I'm
Facts.
learning a whole bunch through this, man.
Yeah, facts. It's an evolution, Doc. It's never going to stop. It's
Yeah,
never going to stop.
it's a part of the infrastructure of the United States now, and this is the way that I stay connected to my family that's not
Right,
close. Like I said, I have a niece that's in Ghana. She lives in Accra,
wow,
Ghana, but I can stay in contact with her on a daily
right.
through the social media networks and internet stuff like that. So I'm thankful for it on that aspect. And I definitely have to stay up with the new innovations or I'm going to get lost behind and still be trying to do old things with new programs. And so, matter of fact, speaking on that, bro, you're going to have to call me up and walk me through this other system that you put me up on.
Okay. Oh, that ain't a problem, Doc. It's very easy. We'll walk you through
Yeah,
it and get you going because the reality is, man, like I said, once you get monetized, in order for individuals to be where they want to be with monetization on the streams, you got to have hundreds of people, man.
yeah,
Why do you think Kwame Brown got millions of people on? That makes the difference. Four or
yeah,
five people actually send you backwards. That's why
yeah,
some of them nine was asking me the other day with Big J, come on and live stream. He doesn't understand the matrix of it and the analytics of it because it all matters. But no, I'll show you that, man. Believe it or not, a lot of the guys that you're watching on YouTube, they're using OBS as their platform. And the
yeah,
reason they're using OBS because it allows you to do multiple things. You can stream or you can just go straight, do record. And that's what you want. Record, then upload your recordings to there. And what it does, it actually allows you, once you upload it, to make changes and edit. Like right now, you can't edit this.
yeah,
If you slip up, we slip up.
yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Hey, what did you see the thing? What? Let me know again if I get off topic. That
No,
the Charlotte Hornets just waived Caleb Martin.
they waved Caleb Martin.
Yeah, I just did a show on it this morning, and I'm telling you.
Wow.
And guess what? What my show was the other day? That's going to make room for who? Leangelo Ball.
Exactly, and they already giving him high praise in his practices and stuff already, which
That's their brother, man.
he he did his little interview the other day, and like you said, he's always ready, man. He loves playing ball, and he just wanted to get that opportunity. And now they've afforded him that opportunity, man, and that dude is stepping up. So I hope it continues to go this route for him, man. And they also have who's the guy? Ish Smith is coming back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's gonna be and then they picked up the kid, who is the kid that they just picked up? Oubre, Kelly
Yeah,
Oubre.
exactly.
So so that right there alone, they're putting the pieces together, they're building around LaMelo Ball. We see it.
And they just got that
Every
big center too, Plumlee.
Exactly. So everything that they were missing last season, every obstacle that they had last season, they fixed it for LaMelo. And
Facts.
now they brought in his brother because not only does that make LaMelo want to commit even more to Charlotte, that gives him a stable support system there along with himself. Him now it's him and his brother. He can fare along with one of his brothers right there with him, and vice
Facts.
versa.
Facts.
LiAngelo is going to feed off of his brother. That is going to be the best situation for them, and I'm excited to see what's going on in Charlotte now.
But D, let me ask you a question. You often talk about mental health, and I'm not judging anybody or anything, but I heard one of the coaches the other day say that LiAngelo is the opposite of LaMelo when it comes to talking. Said he's very all that reserved. Salute Self Awareness TV,
What's happening, my brother?
and say he's very reserved. Do you feel that LiAngelo Ball is suffering from some type of depression?
Absolutely. If you look at the track that he's taken, of course, that kid is suffering from a lot of anxiety, is what I see in LiAngelo Ball right now.
Facts,
And until
facts.
he actually settles down and gets his position solidified, then he's going to have that anxiety and that struggle going on with him. He's the middle child. And first of all, we know the middle child syndrome. That's just a psychological thing that's already documented. So he's struggling with that. And then both of his brothers are being successful in the league, exactly what he's trying to do himself. But because of a poor decision that he made as a kid, it made his track a little bit more difficult. And so he's had to travel to Lithuania, and he's traveled over here, and his little brother shined in Australia, but he didn't because he was hurt. And so
Right.
all of this pressure is on him now. Everybody, what is LiAngelo going to do? Everybody's doing that thing. What is LiAngelo? So yeah, man, he's got a lot of anxiety, and that's not going to settle until he gets his position solidified on a team.
Is it me, D, or is just our community, or is it everybody? Because now, as I'm listening to all these athletes, they're all coming out and say my mental health or my mental issues. But let me, I'm sorry to go there. Let me say this about
No, no,
LiAngelo.
no.
Have
Great.
you looked at? Have you read what his tattoos mean?
No, I haven't even
It's
read what
like
his
40,
tattoos mean.
it's like 40 or 50 different meanings that each one of them has. So instead of him expressing himself openly, he does it on his body.
Yeah, and
And
that's what a lot of
if
these.
yes,
Yeah, that's what a lot of these kids do now. They express it on their tattoos and stuff.
but he got that gotcha look too. Come on, dude. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Something's going on with him, and I believe the parents know what's going on because, like the coaches said, he's very reserved. He's very quiet, but he always says, "My brothers." If I get to do this with my brothers, it's like being that.
Codependent. He's very
Yeah,
codependent on his brothers,
exactly.
and that's why everybody has the question: can LiAngelo survive and thrive without his brothers? And
Right.
I don't know. That's something to be seen. I hope he can, and I hope he proves it to. Well, he only has to prove it to himself, really and
Right.
honestly. But I
Right.
definitely want to see him overcome that because you're right. On the mental health aspect, I spoke about how LeVar trained his sons to be able to handle the mental aspect of what they were going into. I'm sure that's something that he's covered. Now it's easy to talk about it, but when you actually have to go through it, you're going to take it. We've seen how
Facts.
Lonzo took it. Lonzo took it quietly and passively and just did what he had to do to change up and make his value go up. LaMelo came in. He was the silly, the kid, the high energy one, and he's just carefree and just loving to play basketball. And so LiAngelo is going to have his own personality too. And he's the introverted one. He's kind of like Lonzo in a lot of ways, but, he's just a different breed.
Yeah. Have you seen the video that they did on his $2 million home?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that shows you right there. I'm not saying something is wrong, but that shows you where you're right. He is the difference of the two brothers, of the three brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. He's like a social anxiety almost. He's
Right.
always got this sense of nervousness and anxiety with him at all times.
Right. And that could be good or it could be bad. But one thing I do like that, like you said, their father taught them to protect each other. And
Exactly.
When LeVar is gone, he gave his son something that's very, 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 very good. And that's the coping skills that your brothers are your reality.
Yeah, and I'll go back to the military on this because one of the big things in the military is when we get overseas and stuff like that, we become brothers in the sense that we watch each other back on everything, and we actually develop a codependency with each other because of so much faith and trust that we have to put in each other. And so when we come back home and we have to do our demob and we have to split up and go back to wherever we're from, we have that codependency anxiety because I had to depend on this man for my life for a whole year. And now this man is not in my life like that every day, every time I wake up and all of that. And you develop a sense of anxiety and you have to work through that. And it's the same thing with these brothers. They was brought up in a family that was so tight knit that they have always done everything together because it's always been about family supporting family. And so now that they're being broken apart, separated, now it's a sink or swim thing. And now that codependency is being brought to the forefront.
Man, I'm gonna say this. I ain't no punk, right? But I gotta say, my heart went out for that brother on his interview. Did you see his interview?
Yes, I did, man.
And that brother said, man, how all the other coaches and how all the other teams treated him, didn't talk to him, didn't say anything to him. He didn't know what to do. He said, "I'm just there." Man, that rocked me, bro.
I think it was because they didn't know how to communicate with him. Like you say, he's real reserved. He's not that outspoken guy. He doesn't like be in the groups and the cliques with everybody. He just kind of be to himself because, like you
Facts.
said, he's always had his brothers and his father to depend on. So he's never really had to have that friend to depend on like that because his brothers always been his friends. And so, you go into these other locker rooms, and even though your game is what's going to speak for you, you have to have relatability, you have to have marketability, and you have to be able to gel with your teammates. And if you don't talk to nobody, then they're pretty much going to ostracize you and separate you from the crowd.
Right. And that's why I was saying before, when he just says, my brothers, my brothers, my brothers, his brothers is his reality. His
Yep.
family is his reality. People that he know. It's almost like a sense of no trust for outsiders.
Yeah, especially the way the media dogged him after what happened in China. Everybody put so much emphasis on LeVar and Donald Trump that they lost sight of the kid who was going through this. And so the mental struggles that LiAngelo had to deal with and the scrutiny that he had to deal with for that action over in China, and then having to come back home and take the scrutiny there, and then be pulled out of the school, and all of these things were on this guy, man, and he was just dealing with it silently. And that's another point that we bring up about the mental health. A lot of people have to be willing to speak out and let people know that they're dealing with this stuff so that it don't turn into more like
Do
a
you
Aaron
think
Hernandez.
do you think that he was really dealing with it silently? And let me tell you why I asked you that question. Over in Lithuania, LeVar Ball made sure that he got on the floor and that he played. When they came back and they created the JBA, who won the MVP?
Yeah, Leangelo.
So now do you see where I'm going with this entire narrative?
Yeah, yeah. I okay. Well, but on that, man, yeah, he was highlighted in those scenarios, but that was only because his NBA chances were dwindling at that point.
But see, at that
Um,
point though, he hadn't had a chance to walk into the NBA. It was late. All that comes afterwards. So it's almost like they're creating something to push him into that arena of being like the other two brothers, of being outspoken. Come on out, man. Come on out. So it's like
yeah,
they knew something and they're trying to help him get there.
yeah. One of the first questions that they asked Coach Borrego was, "Well, do you see the similarities in the Ball brothers? Not do you see the differences? Do you see the similarities in the Ball brothers? Are they just alike?" Or that was one of the very first questions that they asked Borregos, and I like what Borrego said. He said they're um, same brothers, came up in the same
Just
household,
different.
just different. And they said Melo, they said Jello passes the ball, he shares the ball, he does all of those things. It's just that Melo does it differently.
Yep.
Melo got a little extra pizzazz on his. He got a little extra flair on his. He's the new generation.
Yep.
Jello is kind of like stuck in between. He's like that bridge between the old and the new. You
Facts.
know, like Lonzo being a representation of like the old way of playing ball, the
Mm-hmm.
standard way of playing ball, and then Jello's that he's that, like I said, the bridge between the gap, and Melo is the new age. So it's
Wow.
like he's stuck in this time portal where he can give you a little bit of both ways, but I don't know. It's a hard place for Jello to be in, man, and I feel for the brother because he's like LeVar said, that's the best shooter. He is a shooter. He will light it up, but he's just stuck in a hard spot, man.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know, man. D, you and I see things different than people. That's why we came together with these shows and certain things, man. And
Yeah,
um self-awareness TV, the link is in the room. If D says it's all right for you, come on in, man. Let
yeah.
us hear
Come
you.
on in, my brother. Join
Yeah,
this conversation.
pull up, man, pull up. But I think what happened with all kids, even our kids, there is a difference in certain kids. Certain kids do have that passive attitude, yet they can be aggressive. And I think that's what you see with the tattoos. That's his form of speaking out. That's his aggressive. It's almost like the alter ego. Remember,
Mm,
Beyonce had Sasha Fierce,
yeah.
and if you go back and listen to Clarissa Shields talk, she says she has an alter ego. So it's like
Mm,
this different personality that that the tattoos in the darkness represent something else. But
yeah.
who
Well,
I yeah, go ahead.
that's like Tim Duncan, man. Tim Duncan wasn't no outspoken guy. Tim Duncan wasn't no real big talker. Tim Duncan come out there and they used to always give him flack about just having that blank expression all the time.
Right,
No
right.
matter what went down, he had that blank expression. You what was going on in his mind. That's a great poker face. I do not have one worth nothing. But
But let's break it down. Do you look at this? When you look at all the brothers, right?
yeah,
Lonzo Ball, we know is a ladies' man, got tons of them. All right, because
yeah,
he had this girl with the baby. Lamelo is doing it big with the IG models, right?
yeah, yeah.
So then Leangelo had a perfect relationship with the young lady that went to UCLA. They were all in social media, on TV, doing this stuff with Ball in the family. But it's like when she left and they broke up, it's like he became a different person. And it's like
Ooh.
he didn't recover. Look at it. I'm telling you, man.
Well, when
Remember,
you come
he was up under her like grits on butter.
when you come up in the limelight, you have a whole lot of females who will do whatever you say and who will bend to your will just because they want to be associated with you. And so you get used to a certain thing. And when that female comes along who rejects you and doesn't bend to your will because of who you are, that does something to the ego, and that'll break a
Facts.
young dude who has always been accepted and always uh, been desired. So yeah, you
Facts.
right. You right.
Yep. There's so much going on, man. Not see the media picks up their narrative from writers. We have to
Hmm.
actually study people, study individuals, watch everything, go back, replay, look at all videos, see what someone else says. You know what I'm saying, and really check it out. Oh, he said he's listening while he's remodeling the home.
Hey man, just off topic a little bit. Self awareness definitely be on his business, man. I salute that brother, and I love his channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go by there and subscribe, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. But it's just like I'm saying that if you look at all of it, the print. See, I do things like in paintings, right? You know how
Hmm.
you start with a painting, then you go to the next level of a painting. And when
Yeah,
I'm looking at him and I begin to paint his life, each there's too many brushes. And
yeah.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying what I see as a what you call us. No, we're not commentators, whatever you call us, but
Uh,
as a person, what you call us, D?
content. Analyst?
Yeah, I say analyst.
Yeah,
So as I'm analyzing and I'm using brushes on LaMelo Ball, I don't need more than two brushes. On Lonzo, I don't need more than two brushes. But when it comes to Leangelo, and if I'm going to brush and I'm going to paint, there's too many dispensations and times to where I got to keep changing the brush because something is different now. Something is
yeah,
different. Going to stealing glasses, which you didn't like his daddy say. Now watch this. We know because we worked with kids who have been challenged, right?
yeah.
A kid with money is not gonna go steal some glasses that he can buy 100 million pair of them, unless
Exactly.
unless he was trying to fit in with a group where he didn't fit in at. So now we still see that same shy character, and what the coaches are saying: put it together, D.
Oh, I thank you on that connection because you're exactly right. One of the biggest flexes for a rich kid is being able to go in there and afford the glasses.
Put it together, D.
So he definitely being separated from his brothers and trying to fit in with the group absent his family, uh, just doing what they're doing.
Facts.
Wow. So this is what the coaches in Detroit probably saw.
Exactly. And
And
because
people
he
are,
couldn't, right, because he couldn't come out that shell and we can't talk to you. Well, watch what he's saying. You listen to it. He said they didn't talk to me. Who's supposed
so,
to talk to you?
but see, that's that codependency. He's always
Facts.
had somebody there to give him that pep talk and to pretty much micromanage his whole life. He got used to everything being micromanaged to where he didn't have to think. He had a set schedule and he knew exactly what to do. But when you get out in life, it's like when you're in college. Your teacher or your professor is not gonna hold your hand and call you and make sure that you're gonna have your paper in on the deadline. He's gonna tell you in class when that paper is due. If it's not due by that deadline, then you're not going to get credit. That's period, point blank. And they're not going to hold your hand. And that's the same thing when you come into these professional leagues. These guys are not going to hold your hand and walk you through stuff like they did at Chino Hills. They're not going to hold your hand and give you favoritism like they did at UCLA.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
this is
salute.
what he has to get acclimated to and understand.
Yeah, salute to John, U.S. Army Strong. Salute to you, my brother.
What's going on? What's going on, John? Hey, I'm
Hey,
telling you.
hey, but
Um,
watch this, D, and what you said. Think about it. Lonzo has the guy that's been with him through high school, like a mentor or friend.
yeah,
Lamelo has JJ, Jermaine Jackson, right?
yeah.
So then who does D'Angelo have? You're gonna
See
get
that?
this whole thing when I'm painting in a minute, my bro. And when you see it and really look into it, and you go back and begin to paint that picture yourself, you're gonna see that mental health is an object.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, let's see what John said. The Lakers signed a bunch of dinosaurs. I don't think it's going to work with Russell Westbrook and all of them players. We've seen them do this before and attempt this before. Back when they had got Gary Payton and Karl Malone to play with Kobe and them, and it just didn't work, man. Them guys are. I don't know. I say with Trevor Ariza, yes, Trevor Ariza he's on the backside. Dwight Howard is on his way out the door. A couple of those guys, but yet and still, their objective is to get a championship this season. Carmelo Anthony's on the way out. All of these guys, they're looking for a championship for just this season because a lot of these guys after this season, they're gonna be gone.
Their senior team, man, it's still not. They're still not going to get one. Let me tell you why John is right. I used to watch Rico Hines. I don't know if you ever watched Rico Hines, the over at UCLA, work out with the pro athletes during the off time in summer. And
Uh-huh.
Westbrook always is there. Anywhere he can find a pickup game, he's there. And at his age, he still goes downhill 100 miles an hour. You can't stop him. So what John is saying, I agree. To me, that was the wrong pickup because now you're telling Anthony Davis, who's always injured around his knees and ankles, to run. You're telling LeBron now, who's 37, 36, 37, you're telling him to run. Now you're telling my boy who went back over there to play some center to run. They're gonna have a problem, man. I don't want to see that senior league team.
That's why I would have rather seen Westbrook in Chicago with Lonzo. That him, DeMar DeRozan, and Lonzo, that would have been, oh my gosh.
He should have stayed right in Washington with Bradley Beal. That to me,
Yeah.
that's what he should have did because that's the issue. When what that was the problem over in Oklahoma when all of them played together, Harden, Westbrook, and KD, is because that boy gonna run no matter what. And see,
Hmm.
that's gonna be a problem. He gonna get watch this. People think he's going out trying to score triple doubles. That's not what he's doing. He's scoring triple doubles because he just loves to run.
Yeah, and that's perfect for Lonzo. That's why I said he would be great in a system with Lonzo Ball because Lonzo runs. That's the system that his daddy taught him all his life is run, run, run. And him and Russ, man, that would have been something interesting to see.
And John said it right because Buddy Hill over at Sacramento would have been the prototype player that they need. Because what happens, you already got LeBron that can go downhill, not as fast as he used to, but when you go downhill, if they play in that box and one defense, now he can kick it out to Buddy Hill and make the shot. Russ is running so fast, he's not going to be able to stop on the dime, pull up and hit that three. So they're going to be back in the same predicament. I agree, John.
Well, that's why they got Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza is that setup man who's gonna hit that three for you. That's what he's gonna bring. Also, who else did they pick up? Carmelo Anthony.
Right.
Carmelo is going to give you some good minutes, and Carmelo can also open it up with the three itself. So he don't really have to look just at to one player for that three shot now, and he's got some experienced guys who's going to be able to hit it in the clutch. That's what he was looking at. That's
Here's my
exactly what he was looking
hey,
at.
hey, Big D Mac. This is what I see. I see a lot of old guys frustrated on the court for starting fights. To 1 hour that fight.
I
I'm
just
telling you.
hope.
Watch, man. Watch what I'm telling you. I
Hey,
see,
I can see the commercials already. If I can see the what is it, the TikToks already, they gonna just start making memes out of them dudes. They better do good or halfway decent, because if they don't, oh my gosh, social media is not gonna let that go down.
on my show last night, I said, "Stop holding up each other. Stop holding each other. Let him go."
Yeah, that's why I made that joke. I was joking when I said Uncle Drew was in talks with the Lakers. I
Right.
was talking about the actual Uncle Drew. They so old.
But I had to put something towards the bottom because I made everybody look with bad knees.
Yeah, man, we picking, but that old team might go out here and show these young cats something, man.
No, man,
I'm
they
just,
trying to relive the bubble. You can't relive the bubble. It's over with.
man, I'm just excited to see this next season come up because everybody's making some good moves and some good picks. The Heat, they picking up. No, Golden State. Golden State is trying to get back to their old ways. They picked Andre Iguodala back up. They let's see, they got Clay coming back. They made some good acquisitions. They
No,
got
the
that.
Lakers are trying to get Iguodala. The Lakers are
They
going
not
after.
getting him. No,
Oh, really?
Iguodala's going back to Golden State. Yes, sir. He's going back
Man,
to Golden State.
let me read John's comment. John said, "I think the Suns can easily beat us again, the Lakers. I'm not a fan of us getting rid of our youth. Come on, I'm still there too, John. That we drafted. I wish LeBron would have never signed with the Lakers when he says us. I agree 100%. What's going on, Self?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's
You
happening,
got it,
brother?
man.
Hey, salute to y'all, man. I'm tuning into the show, man.
Yeah,
Hey, I
man. What do you?
appreciate you, brother. I be tuning into your show, man, especially the one the other day, man. You had me rolling. Talk about the cooning and stuff that on YouTube and stuff. But man, that show right there, I was tripping off of that one because you was absolutely right, man. But what you think about this whole Lakers situation?
Brother, I'm gonna be honest with you. Uh, I'm a big sports fan, but I've been so busy, I haven't been able to catch everything.
Uh-huh.
But though, I don't think Westbrook gonna be able to match with the other two, LeBron and
Facts.
KD, like they think it is, because they going by numbers over actually comparing chemistry, like they used to
Yeah.
do back in the day. So
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
statistics and analytics and all that stuff, and the game lost. I lost a lot of love for the game when they started comparing all these numbers, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just be aware, I'm walking through this house. I'm remodeling right now, man. I'm trying to multitask.
Hey, do your thing, brother. But yeah, man, I agree 100% on that, man, because there's a lot of fanfare. There's a lot of powder puff stuff that's going on with me right now. As far as um, people don't look at the chemistry like you were saying. They don't understand when these guys get around each other. Do they have a bond? Is he gonna have a bond with Russell like he had with D Wade? Is he gonna have a bond with Russell like he had with what's his other boy? So that's what it's gonna come down to, and that's what LeBron feeds off of. Whenever he got somebody that he can talk to outside of the game, you know what I'm saying? And these are the relationships you build, and it's that rapport that you build that makes a good team. And that's what the U.S. Olympic team had to do to get their stuff together to bring back that gold just now. Because when they started out, they was just individual good players on the team. But once they got that chemistry together, then they had gone brought it back home. So
Yeah, I see it like this, man. I see it like this. It's like age. As you get older, a lot of men don't want to deal with it. Some women don't want to deal with it, right?
yeah,
So what men as they get older, they came out with something called Viagra, and that was to help her brother sustain what he used to do that he doesn't do automatically anymore.
Yeah,
yeah,
that used
for
to
sure.
when you were 16 and 17, you was able to beat them back up. Beat them backs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all just excuse me, man. I'm silly, man. Y'all just excuse me.
No,
No,
brother, it's
brother,
needed,
come on,
man.
man. I love what you bring, brother. I'm glad you came on.
So then when you get LeBron on the team, you got a brother who every year he's trying to recreate what he had 10 years ago. So it's almost like he's just making moves which are not conducive for the team, but for himself. And what he's doing is some of the moves he's made, like John said, you getting rid of all your rookies that you drafted, you getting rid of all your draft picks. And guess what? All them young cats now are coming into their own season, man. All of them. And LeBron is now, what is he doing? Back and forth, man. I need this one. Okay, let me call Dwight Howard back. Okay, let me get this one back. To me, that's wrecking the team.
And see, this is what separated Kobe and LeBron. Kobe was willing to develop some players. Kobe was willing to give somebody some time to develop. He was willing to help these guys to grow and become the players that he needed them to be. LeBron ain't gonna do that, and the Lakers is not gonna do that. That's why they stripped their whole core of youth so they can bring in some experience because they not gonna take the time to develop nobody. They want a championship now. That's why they got all these old dudes. Because I guarantee you, if they win a championship this season, 4 to 5 of those dudes is gonna retire.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I realize my age, Doc, and I'm not trying to do LeBron. I got a doctor's appointment this morning, gentlemen. So I'm gonna have to get out. I got this MRI to do on my knee and my back. Hey, so salute to everyone, man. Salute to everyone in the chat. Thank you for having me on, D.
Hey, anytime, my brother. Hey, man, have a good appointment, man. Be safe.
All right, man. Everybody be blessed, man.
Salute.
Sure. Yeah, self, man. So what's going on, my brother?
Oh man, just getting it, man. I like that brother you had on, man. When y'all two do y'all show, I really appreciate the content.
Yeah, man. He put me on the game. I was just doing little simple videos here and there, man, and he started putting me up on the game and showing me how to structure this stuff and build up my content. So that's where I'm at right now on the ground level, just trying to build this thing up and find out what exactly I want to do with this thing, man. So yeah, I enjoy doing it, man, and just giving knowledge to people, man, and bringing a different aspect of stuff. And I started checking you out, brother, and I like your content, man, and I like your energy. I like the spirit, bro, and you be putting people up on ownership and how to build wealth, the wisdom to obtain wealth, man. That's what I'm definitely in the vein of that. So I rock with you, brother.
Most definitely, man. But on the sports tip, I want to be honest with you, man. With the Ball brothers, what I want to go back to what y'all had started with the Ball brothers. The Ball brothers,
Yeah,
man. To be honest with you, man, um the one that's trying to get a team right now, the middle child, like you was right. Y'all was totally right about the different syndromes of being the middle child and everything else, and him trying to find his
yeah,
own place. And me by watching their reality show, brother, uh, he always was the one that was like the referee. Like he always kept the baby brother in line, and it was I could tell by this his father talking about him and stuff. It's like he good, but I really was focused on the oldest one, the youngest one, and the middle one. He could take the load. He built for to take the load. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Mentally
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
But they don't probably know that that's affecting his mind, though. Like, oh, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You know?
absolutely. And it's starting to show too, man.
Yeah, because I'm a middle child. I know how it go, bro. I
Really,
know
I'm a
how it
baby, so
go.
I don't know nothing about that. I'm the spoiled one.
Which one you is? The oldest child or youngest child?
I'm the youngest on both sides, on my daddy and my mama's side.
Oh, you don't feel me then.
Nah, I don't know nothing about that. I'm spoiled, bro.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with that, but yeah, I can understand. When I look at him, when I saw that interview, brother,
Yeah,
uh, I can tell he was like frustrated. Like some of the questions he'll light up for, and then some of the questions he'll be like, "Oh, here they go, here they go,
yep.
man. Why they asking me these type of questions?" And he was like, it was almost like he was going in and out of it.
Yeah, yeah, because they have to lead him with questions because if they give him something where he have to really put together a cognitive thought, then yeah, it's gonna kind of go left because like I said, if you've been so used to your life being micromanaged like that, and you don't really have to think too much about what to do because you already got that schedule in your mind. Whenever you break that routine, man, it's gonna have you in a sense of being lost. That's why I think that's what happened in Detroit. They started to see how lost he was without his brothers, and they just kind of like, nah, we don't want to have to deal with his psychological issues and stuff. So
He might need his father around him a little bit more than the other two brothers. That's what I'm thinking, because he needs some type of
absolutely,
family around him, and I think it's gonna be good for him to be with his younger brother to actually play with him. Because if we
yeah,
just think about how they all came together, like a Chino Hills, they they come from like a community where it's like more family in the area. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more family
yeah,
around them, and then to put them on a big stage like that when it's people from all across everywhere, and I think his father kind of knew that, so that's why he traveled around with them to different countries and try to put them in different environments, and to bring his mind wrap around what he's going to be into in the NBA, like the different places you're going to go, the different people you're going to interact with. You see what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
Chino Hill's a
yeah,
small
and
world.
yeah, Leangelo might be that late bloomer out of the brothers. My brother that's older than me, he 3 years older than me, but he was a late bloomer. So I was actually doing a lot of things before he was, and it was just just the way that he came, like the way that we came up, the maturity level. It seemed like I hit my maturity before he did, and it's just how it is sometimes with brothers. You have those things. I lost my brother, but yeah, man, you know, you go through those different psychological things, and I'm pretty sure that Leangelo is going to go through his share of psychological issues. I'm pretty sure that they're not going to just ignore it. I hope they don't ignore it, because I would hate to see that young man succumb to the pressures of life and start to make poor choices and decisions, man. That wouldn't be good for anybody, and that would just break a lot of people's heart, because there's a lot of people that follow the Ball family, man. A lot of people that love the Ball family, and they're interested to see them win. And so as we watch these things unfold, and we watch all of our favorite teams, like my Washington football team, go out here and destroy everybody in our league, in our division, and go on and get the Super Bowl this year. Just be mindful of these mental health issues when things come up. Whenever these guys start acting out, don't be so quick to be like, "Oh, look at this fool! Look at this idiot! Why would he do that?" Start to consider all of the mental issues that they have to deal with on a daily basis, and the strains and the anxieties that they're going through. Always keep that in mind, man. And so, yeah, I've been on here for a while. This is my longest live, and I appreciate John. I appreciate you coming through, man. Big J, I appreciate you coming through. Self awareness, my brother. I appreciate you. Hold on, let me see if I can get you back in here.
Yeah, I got you. I'm
Okay,
in
there
here,
we
man.
go. I got you, bro.
I went through a dead spot in this house, man. It's a
Oh, I
dead
know how that
spot.
go, brother. Believe me, I'm out here. Where you at, man? You
I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana right now.
what city you in?
Shreveport,
Oh, you in
Louisiana.
Louisiana? Oh,
Yeah.
you in the booth. Okay, so you right down the street from me a little bit. I have a homeboy in West Monroe, Louisiana.
Oh man, yeah. I got brothers stay there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
be in
yeah,
Dallas,
small world.
Houston, man. I'll be all over the place. You probably I haven't recorded any shows like I'm on the road going towards Dallas or anything, just New Orleans, Lafayette, stuff like that. But I'm gonna start
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
shows where I'm all in different cities and stuff, man. And yeah, it's pretty fun, man. I wasn't gonna even do a channel. I just did a channel just for the show. Like people actually out here, like an everyday person actually out here getting money, like using their skills, skill set to pay bills and stuff like that and be successful, man. And ownership. This out here like training other people, having other people from your community that work with you, seeing them grow, train them, set them up to start their own business and stuff like that. And we need a very versatile community. Different minds. People think different. People that say, "Hey, this a concept that'll help us. This a concept that'll help us. This a concept that'll help us." Instead of everybody just, "Oh, you think this way, then this is the only way we can think." You get what I'm saying? We can only be
exactly.
entertainers. We can only be black women can only be nurses and stuff like that. Like the prototypes. Like, no,
Eh,
we got we used to have inventors in our community. Now we don't even have inventors. We know you can look on the internet at how many everyday people that had grocery stores and was inventors too at the same time. You see what I'm saying?
yes, sir. You're absolutely right. They had just did a recent article about these girls. They were pushing these young black girls. It was a group of about 6 of them into science to become scientists when they become older, because they showed an interest in it in class, and they noticed the disparity of black scientists. And so these girls, their whole entire career going up is going to be focused on them becoming scientists. And I'm like, you know what? We definitely need some more Neil deGrasse Tysons out here. You know, it's so many different realms that's opening up for us as black people. Like you said, we always had that idea that the only way we could make it out was through sports or through becoming a music artist. Those were really the only options that was given. But now we're starting to see that there's so much more that we can do. Because when you grow up in the projects, man, most people in the projects, they waste the way that they see out is either selling dope, or what did Biggie say? You either slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. That's what most kids in the hood see as their way out. So now that we're starting to expose them to more through these social media sites and seeing you going up in a house and building a house and showing a house that your father built from the ground up and showing that generational gift that's being passed down, bro. This is what these kids need to see. So I have a cousin down in Concord, North Carolina. He's about to start his podcast, Humble Beginnings, and he gonna be talking about that from a young guy's aspect of learning business and learning how to budget your money and all. So man, to see y'all guys out here, bro, it just fueled me to keep on doing it too, man, because this is what's needed.
Yeah, you definitely right. And man, on my show, man, my at first I was just gonna have a couple videos and be done with it. But as it
Yeah.
kept going, I was getting emails
Yeah, keep
and I
going,
was
bro.
like,
I love your content, man. I'm telling you, dude.
I was getting emails, man, and I was like, oh yeah, they want me to really talk about that. I just wanted to make 3 or 4 videos and get off the internet, you know? So cause I used to have like an Instagram and
Yeah,
Facebook and Twitter. And I noticed how you know how your phone alerts you how much time you spend on those apps.
yeah.
I actually got an alert one day. I went and I saw how many hours I spent on Instagram, Facebook, and I said, man, you know what? What if I take that time and do something else with it that'll pay me in the long run? You know what I'm saying? Like not today, but 5 years from now.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Cause that's what I'm doing, man. I was like, like I said, I'm a disabled veteran. I'm a retired vet. And so, man, I have so much time to do a lot of stuff. I volunteer and help out this guy. He does, like I was saying, he does the criminal reintegration into society. Like ex-cons get out of jail, and we'll help them to get ID and help them to set up and get some food stamps and get housing, whatever they need to help get them back on their feet so that they don't go back out there and be tempted to commit crimes. And working with him, man, that just gave me an insight on, you know, a lot of people, all they need, man, is just a choice. Because a lot of people don't feel like they got a choice, man. And so, yeah, man, I love the content that guys are bringing, man, and the little tight group of content providers that I do deal with, we all in this mindset of building, man. So I'm always gonna support what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, salute, man. I got your how I ran into you, and it's good that we always shout each other out because I don't know exactly his name. It's a guy with the braids. I mean, not the braids, the dreadlocks. Everybody call him Mama's
Oh,
cooking. His
Josh,
dad is cooking.
Joshua
Dad's cooking.
Crotion.
Yeah,
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 that
yeah.
is
That
cooking.
brother,
Salute
man,
to
he
Josh,
shout you out
man.
a lot, brother. And that's good because I
Yes.
went straight to your page, subscribe, and I didn't think nothing about it. And as I was working, you'll pop up and I listen to your content and I said, hey, I mess with this brother because he know he come from a different angle. He not about bashing nobody. If he say something, it's all in love. It's not nothing like, like you just attacking
Yeah.
somebody. You don't harp on people. But in these YouTube streets, it's a lot of trash, man. It's a lot of
Oh,
trash,
absolutely.
and
It is,
it's good to
man.
see brothers that not trying to clout chase. And it's a video that you got on clout, man. And I think a lot of people need to watch that video. And when I had watched that video and I started paying attention to my childhood and the things I seen in my childhood, I said, you know what? This is nothing new.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
clout thing been going on for a long time. Now we
It's just been
seeing it
called a
turn
different
into this.
name, man. That's all.
Yeah, we
But
and brother, I saw that American Gangster
yeah,
movie right
uh,
after right after that I saw it before your video, but after I watched your video and watched it again, I
uh,
said, you know what? They've been doing this clout thing a long time ago.
absolutely. Yep. What Biz Marquis call it, catching the vapors. Rest in peace, Biz. They got the vapors. It's
That's
been
why
here a
I say,
long
man,
time, man.
that clout thing and these different games. Because I don't know if you get the news or know about the street war that's going on in our small communities like Shreveport. Like it's a lot of gangs that's in Shreveport itself.
Yeah,
And that
my daughter lived in Winfield. That's right up there near Shreveport, man. And so when we be coming through there, bro, it ain't nice in some of those areas. I ain't even gonna front.
No, man, we got so many different areas. I'm not originally from Shreveport, but as I was growing up, 15, 16, back in our day, we can get in a car and drive. If you know how to drive, you can just
Yeah,
get in the car and drive. It's not like today, like you got to go through the classes and all that stuff like that. Back then, if you knew how to drive, your parents kind of trusted you to get out there and, just don't, wreck the car, that type of. Because I'm from the deep country, so we used to drive to the store at a young age, and my mom said, "Don't go past that first store. Just go to the store, and come back." And I was
yeah.
driving at a young age, driving tractors, lifts, all kind of stuff.
I
And
feel you. I grew up in
and
that
I
same type of
and I
environment.
and I in the small town I'm from didn't have no Walmart. It didn't have anything. So we had to go to the city to actually go to the Walmart and all that type of stuff, right? So I used to travel all the way from the country to Shreveport and get lost. I used to be in neighborhoods. People used to tell me, "Man, you was in over there in that area. Man, you could have got robbed. Anything could have happened to you, you know." And in my mind, uh, I didn't think about it like that. I just used to get lost, just travel through the city, and then end up asking somebody in that neighborhood, "Hey, how do I get back to this highway? How do I get back to this road?" They'll tell me, and I get back on the road. But back then, it was real bad Crips and Bloods in Shreveport. The effects of the gang violence in California traveled down to the south.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people that was in California originally from the south, but they end up getting inside some and coming back down to the south.
Uh-huh.
So they'll start uh Crip and Blood gang down here in the south, and then from those children, from their children, started all these other little small gangs, and now we sitting around seeing all this demise because the fathers of those other gangs they had children that started their own gangs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we think it is, oh, these are the youth, but really it's us as the fathers that father these generational of young people that think it's cool because they seen the father do it.
Exactly. They was born into it, man. I hear a lot of these cats like Lil Durk and them, man. I was born into it. That's like the little dude that just got 15 years from Alabama, Honeycomb Brazy. He was locked up with his daddy in prison. Like 3 years of his stint in prison before he did with his own daddy. You know what I'm saying? So he get back out here in these streets and he get locked up right again. He going back in prison with his daddy. So he grew up in that life, man. So um, it's hard to catch them guys that get caught up like that. When the guy that you look up to, that's his lifestyle, because you gonna do what you see your father do. I have a whole lot of my dad's tendencies. When my mama look at me, she hear me talk and she sees certain mannerisms in me. Boy, you just like your dad. And the same thing with them guys on the negative side. What's up, Zeke? My grandbaby's in here. But yeah, man, and these guys. So it's hard to see these guys learning the wrong thing from the authority in their life, that male figure, and it's hard for somebody else to try to come in and catch them after they done been instilled with that all their life.
That's the reason why I'm saying that is because like I know you in the Dallas area or the Fort
Nah, I'm
Worth area.
down by Austin, Killeen, about 45 minutes
Oh,
from
okay. I
down
go to Austin.
Austin.
I'm in I when I go towards Austin, I'm in Bastard. You know what Bastard is?
Yeah, yeah, on the other side, on the back side of Austin.
Okay, I'm in that area most of the time. In
Oh,
that
okay.
area.
Okay,
So
I was up there at Camp Swift.
yeah, you see, I travel a lot. I know all the little niggas and critters of little small towns and everything. I'm I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm well traveled. So what I was saying that for because I listened to. I'm pretty sure you listening to it too. For as Charleston White and
Yeah,
Mob James interview when they had they little back and forth.
yeah,
Man, I understand what Charleston was saying, and I understand what Mob James was saying. But this the thing though. When we talk to one another as brothers or men, this men talking to men, we need to conduct ourselves in a certain manner when we talk to one another. And the way Charleston White was talking to Mob James, even if you don't agree, you shouldn't get that hostile and loud. And you get what I'm saying?
yeah, man. It's a matter of being able to have conflict resolution, and a lot of us as brothers don't. A lot of us have confrontation. We know how to confront some things, but we don't know how to resolve the issue without having something to go down, and this is something that we was teaching in that program, is how to be able to resolve an issue without having to throw hands, without having to pull out the pistol, and you can both walk away. What I'm saying? Either you can agree to disagree, or y'all can agree on the points that's made, and a lot of guys don't deal with that. I was looking at the Boondocks the other day, just watching some old episodes, and they was talking about a nigga moment, and that's exactly what he was explaining. How it can either go one or two ways. Either we can squash this like real men should, or we gonna have a nigga moment, and that's
Over a
how we
parking spot. You feel me?
above parking spot. It's real, bruh.
When he
It's so
jumped up and
real.
said, "I'll kick you in your chest, nigga."
Bro,
He
I
used
love
both of
it.
his feet.
Man, I was talking to somebody about that the other day, man. But that is so true, man. These guys don't have conflict resolution skills. And so they'll get on here and be promoting manhood, but they're not exhibiting the manhood that they're trying to promote. And I have a
Of
major
course,
issue with that a lot of times.
of, of course, because if we say, "Hey, we're gonna be men," when we say we're gonna be men, you're gonna have to sit down and tell me what you went through to become a man. Because a lot of us don't never go through nothing to become a man. You can become 18 years old, 19 and 20, but your
Yeah,
mind haven't developed enough to handle manhood.
exactly.
Manhood know when to take a L. You gotta take a L sometime in being a man. Like, okay, I can
Yes,
take a
sir.
L today, but in the long term, I'm a win. I can
That's it.
win 2 years from now. This whole thing will flip, and I'm on top. I can take the L and walk away today, and then tomorrow, uh, group myself and plan for the next execution. And it's moving forward. You see what I'm saying?
Ab- Absolutely, man. In the military, I had, man, you know how much crap I had to eat in order to gain that footing, man, because I saw the bigger picture. All right, I might have to eat your crap right now, but guess what? In a couple months, when I get this promotion and I move up into this position right here, I'm gonna be over you. So,
Exactly. It's
yeah,
playing
yeah,
check. You gotta play checkmate on some situations.
that's it, brother. And having that security in your game plan, because a man without a vision is like a city without walls.
Because that brings me back to what you were saying about the guy getting out of jail, right? Y'all got a program about people getting out, coming out of jail and having a fresh start. That
Yeah.
guy got to understand if he have a federal, if he have a conviction on his record, a lot of times they're gonna turn him down on these jobs over somebody that don't have any convictions.
Yeah.
And he can't say, "Oh, they turned me around because I got this conviction and nobody want to hire me." Brother, accept your responsibility that you went out and did that. Now you have to come up with a solution for the problem. Like, what can I do that I can be successful at that doesn't allow, won't stop my success in life, me feeding myself? Okay, I need to learn a skill set that
Yeah.
somebody won't be worried about if I got this on my record or not. If I can
hmm
fix your problem, come to your house, fix it, electrical problem, they ain't worried about all that stuff. They worried about, hey, I need this fixed. or a plumbing problem. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. One of my son's friends, man, this young dude when they was little kids, he learned two trades. He learned carpentry and he learned mechanics. And so as he got older and got in his early 20s, he made a couple mistakes, ended up doing some time. But when this young man got out of prison, he came straight out of prison and started doing odd work around, just mechanic work. Then he got a few cars under his belt that he fixed up and flipped for some, you know what I'm saying? So he started using those trades that he learned as a child when he went into prison and came out of that system and wasn't able to get an opportunity out here on these jobs. He made opportunities for himself through those trades that he learned as a child, man. So this is what I want to push to our kids, man. And anybody that's pushing that, man, I'm going to be along with them.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you getting out of jail and my son or my cousin or nephew don't have nothing on their record and they going for the same jobs, common sense gonna tell you 9 out of 10 times that guy that doesn't have a record is gonna get that job if he's qualified.
Yep.
We just understand the system that we in, not that nothing about fantasy. It's about
Mm-hmm.
reality. And reality is that's why they got that on that application.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I have an uncle that did a big bid and he was the big dog in the neighborhood. You know what I'm talking about, read between the lines. He was doing
Yeah.
all
So,
that. He went and did some time. He ended up
mm-hmm.
being selected to go to a boot camp, and after boot camp, he came back all ripped up, and he couldn't find a job. But my dad had a trade, taught him the trade of laying bricks, and from
Mm-hmm.
there he
Yeah.
took off.
Yes,
He
sir.
took off. You see what I'm saying? He took
Yeah.
off, and that what he did for the rest of his life was lay bricks.
Wow. And because he was given another option.
Yes,
He saw that he had a choice now. He didn't have to just do this one thing. And when you give people more options than this or that, then they're more than likely going to find something that's going to be conducive to their talents. And they're going to thrive in that area. But whenever a kid, all they see, man, is I can be a dope dealer or a basketball, football player, man, that just keeps a kid in such a box, man. They don't have no other choice but to be depressed. That's why they call it the trap, because you feel so trapped all the time with this little one-dimensional life. But I just be, man. I overanalyze stuff, man. I love to sit back and just wonder what make a person think the way that they do, or what do they go through to make them, to make them do the things that they do. So I sit down, man, and just come from that aspect a lot of times. Even when I'm talking about sports, man, I'm always talking about their mind and something like that. But that's just how I be.
I do the same thing. I sit back and I analyze little bitty things like body language and everything else. When I'm talking to somebody, I'm paying attention to everything, eye contact, everything. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
while I'm talking to them, I understand if they fully engaged, 50% engaged, is it flying over their head? You see what I'm so when I'm talking to my son, I do the same thing. I'm always telling him, focus, paying
yeah,
attention, stay in the
yeah,
moment. If I'm
exactly.
talking to you, listen to everything I'm saying, understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand it, ask those questions.
Yes, sir. And that's community. That's effective communication. That's another one of the issues right there. Is people don't even understand when they be talking to each other on social media. I've seen so many people get in arguments for the simple fact that they misconstrued the way a person put a emoji. I'm like, are you serious? Are you really serious? So you just started a whole argument because somebody put the wrong emoji or something like that. But it be little things like that in communication that we're losing through these different devices and stuff, man. We just need to get back to uh, face-to-face communication and effective communication, making sure somebody paying attention, eye contact, all those things you was just saying that you demonstrate to your son, man. This is what the father brings to the household. This is what teaching a man how to be a man comes down to. Now, mothers, these single moms do a great job and they do as good as they can, but they'll never be able to teach that boy how to be a man. She can teach him what not to do. She can teach him a man is supposed to do this and that, but she can never teach him like a man can teach him. And so, it's good to see brothers getting back into this and recognizing that this is something that's needed. So, man, I hope you keep your page going, man, because it's definitely needed for these young bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it going, man. Keep y'all laughing and dropping little gems here and there. But
Appreciate it, bro. I enjoy it, man. I really do, man.
uh, hey, I'm gonna start trying to catch your live streams much more often. Hey, if I don't, just forgive me, brother. I will comment on it though. I will come by and show my support, liking and commenting on the page and stuff like that.
And likewise, my brother, man. That's what we here for, man. That's what I do it for. I appreciate you coming through, bro. We'd have been on here for a hot minute too. This is my longest live right here, so I'm hyped about that, man. But yeah, I appreciate you coming through, showing some love, man. I'm always gonna come through and show love for you, bro, and salute what you're doing. And let me go ahead and get on out here, y'all.
All right,
Um,
salute.
Salute to your self-awareness, TV. Salute to your Big J for coming through. Salute to my wife, J Mac. Hey, man, y'all know what I always say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.